In lesson 4.7, think about it. To solve the following problem, minus 2n times, parentheses, n plus 1/4, close parenthesis, equals 21.5. And is there another way to solve this? How? So there are two different ways of solving this. One, I can use the distributive property. The distributive property shows that I can take the outside number, the minus 2, and multiply it by the n, and then also by the 1/4. So I'm expanding, and then I continue to solve. The other way is I can actually, in some ways, simplify by dividing both sides. I can divide both sides by the -2. So I take the same -2, instead of multiplying, I'm going to divide both sides by -2. So those are the two different ways of solving it. And in this video, I'm simply going to show you using the distributive property because the second half of it would be the same for both. One of the first things that I notice in this question is that I have a fraction, and on the other side I have a decimal. Now, math often gets confusing when you have both together, so you're going to want to make them both sides the same. And these questions are easier if you use decimals. So I'm going to rewrite the question, minus 2n plus 0.25 equals 21.5. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make it so that you have either all fractions or all decimals in your question. Then we use the distributive property, where we're going to multiply the minus 2 by the n, and then the minus 2 by the 0.25. So this would be minus 2n, and then it's plus, I have a negative sign here, be negative 0.5 equals 21.5. So again, don't get mixed up with the decimals. Now I want to keep my variables on one side and I want to keep the constants on the other. So I'm going to use the inverse relationship. If I have minus 0.5, I want to get rid of it from this side, so I'm going to add 0.5. Whatever I do on one side, I have to do the other. So these will cross each other out, and this side will equal 22.0. So now I'm going to have minus 2n equals 22.0. Don't forget that minus. It's very important. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I will need to divide by minus 2, because I want to have just one n on this side. So I'm solving for n. Whatever I do to this side, I'm going to do to this side. So 22 divided by 2 is 11, but again, the negative sign. So n is equal to 11. So this is solving it using the distributive property. If I had divided both sides by 2, then I actually would have had n plus 0.25 is equal to negative 10.75, and then I would have had to solve it from there. So this is if I had done it the simplifying, dividing both sides by 2.